Hello everybody, can you hear me anyone? Yes?
Yes,
Okay.
can hear you. We just started the meditation, so we haven't even gone to 1 minute just yet.
Okay, seems like everyone is sitting well, so make sure that your back is erect, side cast down, and in our minds, voicelessly, we can make the first determination from now on for 10 minutes. I will meditate, we can meditate 15 minutes. From now on for 15 minutes, I will meditate on muscles and radiate loving kindness without any movement. From now on for 15 minutes, I will meditate on muscles and radiate loving kindness without any movement. From now on for 15 minutes, I will meditate on muscles and radiate loving kindness without any movement. And with that determination, we can gently, lovingly notice the flat piece of flesh at the top of the head. We allow it to be heavy. We continue to the forehead, eyes, nose, lips, chin, cheeks, ears, back of the head, and we allow all of the muscles and flesh throughout the head to be heavy. And we continue to the neck, shoulders, arms, elbows, forearms, wrists, palms, fingers, tips of fingers, chest, abdomen, back, and we allow all of the muscles and flesh throughout the upper part of the body to be heavy. So heavy. We continue to the buttocks, thighs, knees, calves, heels, soles, toe, tips of toe, and we allow them to be so heavy. All of the legs are so heavy. All of the body is so heavy. And as we repeat the word heaviness, we allow the body to be even more heavy. But make sure your back is erect. And you do not make any moves at all, no moving at all. We are like statues. Heaviness, heaviness. And as we enjoy this heaviness of muscles and flesh, now let's observe the relationship between the mind and this heaviness. Is the mind with the heaviness? Or is the mind not with the heaviness? What is the mind doing with the heaviness? Does the mind enjoy heaviness? Is heaviness coming and bigger? Or is it weak and going? So now let's consider heaviness in other parts of the body. Heaviness doesn't mean that things are heavy. It means that they weigh something. Some things weigh little, some things weigh a lot. So we start with the hair and body hair. They don't weigh much, but they weigh something. So we allow them to be as heavy as they are, namely, they are light. And we continue in this manner to the skin. All over the body there is skin. We allow the skin to be heavy. We continue to the bones in the body. We allow the bones to be heavy. We continue to the heart. We allow the heart to be heavy. We continue to the intestines. We allow the intestines to be heavy. We continue to the poop inside the intestines. We allow that poop to be heavy. We continue to the lungs that receive the breath when we breathe. We allow the lungs to be heavy. We continue to the stomach, which receives the food that we eat. We allow the stomach to be heavy. We allow all of the body to be heavy. And now, as we allow the body to be the way it is, as we sit like a statue and we do not move at all, we can enjoy the freedom from worry about the body. Let the body be. Now let's look at the mind. So we will be looking at the peace that we gain when we let the body be. If we allow the body to be the way it is, if we don't care about the body, then we are left with the mind. Let's look at this mind. What does this mind do? Is there happiness? Is there worry? Is there peace? Is there desire? Whatever is there, we watch it. Now, as we have achieved peace, we can further support it by the situation now. What is the situation now? That I can get food if I'm hungry. I can get clothes if I feel cold. I have roof above my head, so I am safe. And so we realize this situation, not everybody is as lucky. And so we are happy and we enjoy that fact. I get food, I get clothes, I have roof above my head. So as we accept that we are lucky, as we accept that we are in peace, we can share this luck, we can share this happiness with other living beings. Let's start in our room. We don't force, we don't expect, we just allow, we permit everyone and everything in the room, everything that lives, to be in peace at least as much as we are now. And so in our minds, voicelessly, we can wish, may all beings in this room be in peace. And we gradually expand our thought of loving kindness. May all beings in this building be in peace. May all beings in this city or village be in peace. May all beings in this country be in peace. May all beings on this planet be in peace. May all beings in this world be in peace. May all beings, including me, be in peace. Now, because the time for this sitting is finished, let's make the last determination in our minds voicelessly. From now on, I will always be mindful and shine with loving kindness. From now on, I will always be mindful and shine with loving kindness. From now on, I will always be mindful and shine with loving kindness. And with that determination, we can slowly, mindfully change the way of our sitting. And be careful to be slow. Do not approach your camera yet. You will need to change your legs. So, Alex, Robert, and Felix, you need to take one of your legs and move it to the side. Just like Tenza has done it or Yeti has done it. So in that way, if you can do it, yes, very good. Or Mo has done it very well, or Emily, or Tiri. So that way. So as you're sitting in that posture, let's take 1 more minute, during which we will not move at all, and we will just enjoy peace, not doing anything. Okay, very well. So now let's move on to our recitation. Today let's recite in Burmese pronunciation. So I would like to ask everyone to unmute yourself. So I will recite in Burmese pronunciation. Burmese pronunciation is a little bit difficult and you will need to pay attention very well. So I will say Yamaha Wadami Tam Wadeta and you can reply Ama Bhante. So let's try that together. Yamaha Wadami Tam Wadeta. So now comes the difficult part. Remember, sa becomes ta, ja becomes sa, panchasilang becomes piensatilang, anugahang becomes anugahang. So let's try that together. Aham bhante, titaranena, taha, piensatilang, Dhamma yasami. Anugahang katawa. Tilang data. Me bhante. Anukampan. Upadaya. Very well. So we will be reciting the same thing for the second and the third time. Dutiyampi means for the second time. So let's get into that. Dutiyampi. Aham bhante. Titarane nataha. Piensatilang Dhamma yasami. Anugahang katawa. Tilang deta me bhante. Anukampan upadaya. Tatiyampi aham bhante. Titarane nataha. Piensatilang Dhamma yasami. Anugahang katawa. Tilang deta me bhante. Anukampan upadaya. Namo Tata Bhagavato Arahato Dhamma Tambodhata. Remember to keep your hands together like this at the chest, because that way you show that you're serious about this. Namo Tata Bhagavato Arahato Dhamma Tambodhata. Namo Tata Bhagavato Arahato Dhamma Tambodhata. Bodhan Taranang Gissami Dhamman Taranang Gissami Sangha Taranang Gissami Dutiyampi Bodhan Taranang Gissami Dutiyampi Dhamma Taranang Gissami Dutiyampi Sangha Taranang Gissami Tatiyampi Bodhan Taranang Gissami Tatiyampi Dhamma Taranang Gissami Tatiyampi Sangha Taranang Gissami. So now I will announce to you that going for refuges is complete, and you can then reply, yes, Venerable Sir. So let's try that together. Tarana Pariponam. Yes, you just reply Amabhante. So let's try that again. Tarana Pariponam. Perfect, yes. So now come the 5 precepts. Felix, you have something to say?
Can I go to the washroom?
Yes, please. So now we have the 5 precepts. So the first precept means I follow the precept, the rule of refraining from killing living beings. It means we never harm anyone, and instead we try to help everyone to be happy and to be healthy. So you can repeat after me. Panatipada Veramani. Remember to keep your hands together like this at the chest, because that shows that you mean it seriously, that you really want to follow those rules. Teikhapadam Tamadiyami. The second rule means I follow the rule of refraining from stealing. So we never steal, we never take what's not given. We also do not borrow without permission. First we ask for permission, and then we borrow. Adena dana Veramani Teikhapadam Tamadiyami. The third precept means I follow the rule of refraining from sexual misconduct. That means that when you have a husband or wife, you are faithful to them and you never fall in love with anyone else. Kametu Mesasara Veramani Teikhapadam Tamadiyami. The fourth precept means I follow the rule of refraining from false speech. It means we never tell lies. We always tell the truth. Mudawada. Veramanitikha padantamadiyami. The fifth precept means I follow the rule of refraining from drinking alcohol and taking drugs. Dura meraya. Mizza. Pamadatana. Veramanitikha padan. Tamadiyami. So now I will encourage you everyone to follow and protect these 3 refuges and the 5 precepts, and to make effort mindfully. So why would you need to take effort, to make effort mindfully? Well, because if you're mindful, you can notice that you want to break one of the 5 rules before you break it. And therefore, you still can remove those thoughts, those desires, before you break the 5 precepts, and thus you never break them. And then if you agree with that, you can reply, Ama Bhante, yes, Venerable Sir. So let's try that together. Titranena tadhem piensa tilan dhamman tadhukam turakitan katawa apamadena tampadeta. May you be happy, may you be healthy, and may you be successful in everything you do. You reply to that, Tadhu, Tadhu, Tadhu. So what does that mean? Tadhu means well done or well said. If you agree with what someone says or does, you reply Tadhu in Burmese pronunciation, Sadhu in Sri Lanka pronunciation. Yes, Tiri?
I asked a question I was going to answer, but you already answered it. Never mind.
Tiri, you just got answer to your question?
You asked the question and then you answered the question asked. I was going to answer it.
Okay, that's good, thank you.
In one of us.
Okay, Robert? Yes, Robert, I'm listening.
I have a question.
Yes, please.
My mom always says that it's important to say Buddhandanangisami, Dhammandannangisami, Dhangandanangisami when we go somewhere, or we're on a trip, or at the beginning of the day. Why is it important?
That is great. If you can do that, that's wonderful. I usually do not ask people to do that because I worry that they would just refuse. But if you can do that, then that's great. When you say, well, this is in the Burmese pronunciation. In Sri Lankan pronunciation, in the international pronunciation, you would say Buddhang Saranang Gacchami, Dhammang Saranang Gacchami, Sanghang Saranang Gacchami. We believe that this is the pronunciation in which the Buddha himself instructed it. The Burmese pronunciation seems to be a later invention. Indeed, in Sri Lanka and in India, the Buddha was coming from India, by the way. India, or some people say from Nepal, but somewhere around there, and the pronunciation indeed should be like that. Buddhang Saranang Gacchami, Dhammang Saranang Gacchami, Sanghang Saranang Gacchami. I teach you the Burmese pronunciation so that you better understand your parents, and if you go to Myanmar and recite through Refuges 5 precepts in Myanmar, then you can easily understand their pronunciation and they are happy with you. So why would you do that? Why would you need to recite it? It's a little bit complicated. The problem is that now we live, which is not a problem, that's very good, but life is short. and we never know when the life ends. We may die. We may die today, we may die tomorrow, we may die next year, we may die after 10 years, after 50 years, after 100 years. Who knows? Nobody knows. But the question comes, what will happen after we die? Where shall we go? And unfortunately, we do not have much power to decide where we go. We will be going to such place that we deserve. Some people deserve to go and be burned in hell, in fire. Some people deserve to be born in boiling water and be boiled with all of their body. Some people deserve to be born as mosquitoes, bacteria, viruses, or insects or animals. Some people deserve to be born as humans. Some people are born as ghosts. Some are born as gods in heaven, and some are born as very powerful gods who enjoy pleasure of meditation. So where shall we go? Where's the destination? It's very hard to tell. And while we cannot tell for 100% sure, we cannot make totally sure, at least we can increase the probability. What does it mean, probability? Well, that's the measure of possibility. How is this possible or not? For example, if I take a pen and I drop it, then what is the probability? How far it is possible that instead of falling down, it will actually fly away? Is it possible that if I drop the pen, it will fly away? It is low probability. But if I drop it and it falls, then the fall is high probability. It is highly probable that the pen will fall. It is not very probable that it will fly away. In the same way, if you do good things, if you help others, if you are generous, and if someone needs something to eat or something to put on their body as clothes, then you support them with that. If you meditate, if you never kill, steal, commit adultery, drink, tell lies, or drink alcohol, then there is a high probability that you will be born as a god or as a human. On the other hand, if you kill, steal, commit adultery, tell lies, drink alcohol, take drugs, if you do not support others, if you do not care about others, if you blame virtuous monks and virtuous nuns, those who follow their rules, well, then it is a high probability that you will be born as an animal, as a ghost, or in hell. It's just a probability. We cannot tell for 100% sure. Hey, it is possible that the pen will fly away, but not very possible, right? So that's the thing. Now, the problem is that it is complicated, because sometimes we do good things and sometimes we do bad things. So which of the things will decide our next life? The good things or the bad things? We don't know. We don't know. Sometimes it's the bad things that decide it. Sometimes it's the good things that decide it. We don't know. That's the problem of life and death. So the Buddha provided an instruction on how to get out of all of this. Out of the life and death and another birth. Nah, enough. Let's go away of that. It is called Nibbana. But that's a little bit far. So let's, maybe not far for some of you, but that's a little bit high level of explanation. Let's keep it simple and let's stay in this simple world for this moment. So, okay, so you do not know what will be your next life, but you can increase the probability. You can make it more possible. How do you make it more possible? Well, of course, by meditating, by following the rules, by being generous, by being helpful. That's how you can increase the probability. It will never be totally sure, well, except special cases. But mostly it will never be sure, and that's the problem. So there are various ways how you can increase the probability. And one is to believe, to have the faith that the Buddha and that the Buddha's teachings and that the community of monks are noble, that they are good, that they are the source of peace. The trust in the Buddha provides you with various attitudes. First, if you believe in the Buddha, then you trust that the Buddha is enlightened, that the Buddha got free from all this mess of birth, old age, sickness, and death. The Buddha got free from that. So he did not got reborn again. He did not need to worry about his next life because he was not reborn again. So, if that is true, then there is another attitude. If you believe in the Buddha, well, that attitude is that the Buddha can teach this to you. And that teaching is called Dhamma. So we believe that Dhamma is really the teaching that can take me out of this mess. And then, if that is true, then there will be probably the Buddha's students who follow that instruction and who already got rid of that mess. And that is the Sangha, the monks. So we have the Buddha, the Buddha's teachings, and the Sangha. And there is this high, powerful truth in the world that indeed the Buddha became enlightened, that indeed his teachings leads to enlightenment, and then indeed his students, some of them, not everybody, became enlightened. And there is this faith that this is related to me. How is that related to me? Because I can follow their advice and also get free from this mess. So when you say Buddhang Saranang Gacchami, Dhammang Saranang Gacchami, Sanghang Saranang Gacchami, you take refuge in the Buddha, his teachings, and the community of monks, with the understanding that they are the source of your peace. And with this truth, with this faith, with this humbleness, you do a good deed. You stop killing, stealing, adultery, telling lies, drinking alcohol. You start to be enthusiastic about meditation and about generosity, helping others, giving them whatever they need if you have it and can give it. So, reciting these three things, Buddhang Saranang Gacchami, I go for refuge in the Buddha, that means I seek peace in the Buddha. Dhammang Saranang Gacchami means I go for refuge in Dhamma. It means I seek peace in the Buddha's teachings. Sanghang Saranang Gacchami, I go for refuge in Sangha. It means I seek peace in the community of monks. So as you seek peace in them, that is good. And because it is good in this world to seek peace in Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, if you die at that moment, you will be born as a human or in heaven. So that's why you recite Buddhang Saranang Gacchami, Dhammang Saranang Gacchami, and Sanghang Saranang Gacchami whenever you go somewhere, whenever you drive somewhere. Because if you go somewhere, who knows? Maybe you will have a car crash. Maybe something bad will happen. Who knows? Someone who will be trying to shoot their friend, they will happen to shoot you and you will die. Or maybe your enemy will shoot you. You never know. In the US, it's so complicated. So it's very good to recite Buddhang Saranang Gacchami, Dhammang Saranang Gacchami, Sanghang Saranang Gacchami every time you go out of the house, every time you drive somewhere, every time you travel somewhere. So that if it happens that you die, then at least you are born as a human or as a god. Because if you are born as an animal, if you are born in hell, then you're stuck. And that's a problem. You're so much stuck if you get born in the lower realms, and it's a big problem. It's not like you will be born as a mosquito and then when you die you're born as a human again. No, that doesn't work that way. A mosquito is stealing, and the mosquito knows it very well. And stealing is bad deed, and a bad deed increases the probability for what? For being born in hell. So when the mosquito is stealing and then it steals the blood, well, then the mosquito will probably be born in hell because it's stealing. And the mosquito just knows it so well. It suffers so much when it's stealing. So unless you give it. So sometimes when mosquitoes come and drink my blood, I give my blood to them, so then they don't steal. Because even if you think that you steal, if the other person gives it to you, then actually the stealing did not happen. So even if you think that you steal and you are sure that you steal, but in fact the person gave it to you, it is actually not stealing. But that's not something you can know. It will be stealing because you think that they did not give it to you. So you cannot play with that. No, playing will never work. Sorry. As soon as you steal, that's a bad deed. Unless you are very lucky that the person gave it to you. But that's rare. Especially in the US, this is very rare. So we never steal. But if an animal, if a ghost, if they steal or if they do something bad, they will continue in that life. And usually that's what they do. So usually you are stuck in these worlds for billions and billions of years, basically forever. It looks like forever. It's not forever at all. But it's almost like forever, because just again and again and again and again and again. You're born as an animal, as a ghost, in hell, as an animal, in hell, again in hell, again in hell, and then as an animal. It's pretty bad. So we never want to fall there. Do you know what I mean? If you fall there, it's like a trap. You're just there and you're trapped. You're stuck in there and you cannot get out. There's no way out. So we don't want to fall into the world of hell, animals, or ghosts. And that's why whenever you go somewhere, whenever you go for a trip, whenever you go out of the house, you go to school, you go to work, you go for a trip or wherever for any journey, you can recite Buddhang Saranang Gacchami, Dhammang Saranang Gacchami, Sanghang Saranang Gacchami. You can recite it fast. Buddhang Saranang Gacchami, Dhammang Saranang Gacchami, Sanghang Saranang Gacchami. Perfectly fine. Doesn't take much time. You don't have to recite it out loud. You can recite it in your mind, voicelessly. And it's perfectly complete. But the faith must be there. The Buddha is the source of my peace. The Buddha's teachings is the source of my peace. The community of monks is the source of my peace. Yes, Alex?
You said like if you do bad things, you'll be stuck as an animal, right?
Yes, it's highly probable.
But what if you do good things when you're an animal?
As you're an animal, yes. Then when you die as an animal, then you can be born as a human or as a god. If the animal follows the 5 precepts and the animal doesn't kill, steal, commit adultery, tell lies, drink alcohol, well then the animal can be born as a human or as a god in the next life. This is perfectly fine. But it's very improbable, because usually animals are born as animals again or in hell. Yadi wanted to say something?
Animals like you said, for example, if animals like do drugs or like drink.
If they're drunk, yes.
Yeah, how would they do that if they're animals?
People can help them. People can help them. So animals can drink alcohol. There is a case when alcohol is naturally created, when the necessary ingredients for alcohol come together in the forest, and you will get alcohol in the forest. It's very rare. is extremely rare, but sometimes it happens. So then when the animals come there and they drink that alcohol, well, then they drink that alcohol. So then they get drunk and they think, oh, this is so wonderful. So they get drunk again and again and again, and that's how they drink alcohol. It's very rare. Usually animals would not drink alcohol, but it can happen. And in our scriptures, in our books, it is written that indeed it happened, that animals got drunk. Yes, Tiri?
So, what if an animal's doing a good deed and it knows it's doing a good
Das key. Christmas bath key. Oh, wow, that's so cool.
Oh, he's back. Never mind.
Okay, I'm back. This is the first time after 5 months in Vietnam that there was a power cut. This is incredible. In Myanmar, you have it like 2 or 3 times every day. So still in Vietnam, it's pretty good. But I was quite surprised, power cut today. All right, and it was just for a few seconds. You know, in Myanmar, if you lose electricity, you lose it for 5 hours or for several days. So it's not so easy. All right, so someone was asking me a question, and can you please repeat? Yes, yes, please.
So the question was, if an animal does a good deed not for itself but for someone else, not knowing it could do something good for themselves, is that more special than an animal doing a good deed on accident, or is it equal?
You would have to give special, particular example. Otherwise, it's very difficult to explain this.
Like if an animal, was eating food, but it saw another animal that was hungry and knew it was hungry and gave the food to them.
That's great.
Purpose, is that more special than the animal being full and just letting the other animal have it? Maybe.
Excuse me, the second case was?
Is that more special than if an animal just doesn't want the food and lets the other animal have it, not knowing it's doing a good deed?
It's always better if there is the intention. Without the intention, it actually doesn't count as a good deed. If you do not have intention to help someone or to give something to someone, but they somehow get it, it is not your good deed. So suppose that you have you're supposed to get You're supposed to get, let's say that you should get a cake, but you do not know that you got a cake, and then someone just comes around and they take that cake because they think that it's for themselves, that it's for them, but it actually was a cake for you, but they took it because they thought that it's for them. So then that means that you gave them the cake, right? Except that you didn't know it. So that's no good deed. It's not bad deed as well, but it's not a good deed for you. Even if, well, then if you're not angry about that, then that is a good deed. But if you don't know about it, or if you never find out about that, then it is not a good deed. If you leave some food somewhere, and because you just forgot it, and someone else eats that, then this is not your good deed, because that was not your intention. You didn't desire to give it to someone. Only when you desire to help, to give, then it is a good deed. If there is no such desire, then even if the other person benefits, if the other person gets the thing, still it is not a good deed for you. Not at all. It is not a bad deed. It is absolutely not a bad deed, but it is not a good deed at all, because there was no intention.
But would it be a bad deed for the person who took the food or anything real?
No, of course, if they stole it, it is a bad deed. But if they thought that it's for them, that you thought that you actually left it there for them, then that's fine. If you think that something is given to you, then even if you are wrong, it is not stealing. But in the Western countries, like in the USA, this is not understood. People don't understand that. So it is always better that if you're not sure, you ask, who is this for? And you do not take things that no one gave you. You first ask, hey, whose is this? And they will tell you, I don't know. Or they will say, no, this is nobody's, it's just left here. Then you can take it, and you need to think, if anyone comes and they say that it's theirs, I will immediately give it to them. But ideally in the USA, if someone didn't give you something, you do not take it. In Asia, if someone did not give you something and you think that it was abandoned, then of course you can take it. Okay, Tiri? Doesn't it make sense to you? So the stealing is always a way how you cause harm to someone else, how you cause them pain. So for example, you get some food for your breakfast, but then someone else comes and they take all of that food away. Will you be happy about that? If you cannot get another breakfast instead, you probably will not be very happy about it. So then you see that the person who took away your breakfast made you pain. They caused you some suffering. They caused you some unpleasant feeling. And that's why it is bad. Stealing is bad because it causes unpleasant feeling to the other person. However, yes?
It was that I was confused about something else. I was confused how the US and Asia think about things.
I see, yes. Because in the US they are not Buddhists. Because in the US most people are Christians or they are non-believers in anything at all. They do not have this concept of good deed or bad deed. They have only concept of proper, of suitable and unsuitable. And this suitable and unsuitable is created in their minds. It is not created by the Buddha or by the reality as it is. It is what they think. So they think it is not okay to take things if they are not given to you, even if especially if you do not know whether the other person abandoned them or not. In Buddhism, it's actually the same. But in Buddhism, if you believe that it was abandoned, actually you are fine. Whereas in the US, if you believe that they're abandoned, it still is not enough. And the owner will come and they will be angry with you and they will try to punish you. In Asia, it is better understood because they have this Buddhist understanding. Was it your intention to steal? No. Okay, well, then we understand that. If it is your intention, well, then that's bad to steal. In the US, whether you have intention or not, they don't care. You took my thing. You're so bad. Okay, that's the US style. So you need to be more careful. Okay, Emily?
So if a person drinks alcohol and then a mosquito bites the person who drank the alcohol, is it included as the mosquito drinking alcohol?
Oh, that's so interesting. No, there would not be enough alcohol in the blood, probably. And also, the mosquito did not have the intention to drink alcohol, you know? That's the point. The mosquito had the intention to steal the blood. But that's a very funny, very nice example. Thank you very much. Very smart. So the mosquito. Are you still connected?
Yeah, I think you froze again.
So the mosquito. So the mosquito will cause a bad deed for the mosquito by stealing the blood. But if there is alcohol, it actually doesn't matter because that's not the reason why the mosquito bit the person. So it's always about the intention. What do you want? You know, like when you're cleaning the floor, do you clean the floor so that you kill the ants and the little insects that are on the floor, or do you clean it so that it is clean, nice, and nobody gets a disease, so that everybody is healthy? Then even if while you're cleaning the floor you happen to kill some insects unintentionally without the desire to kill them, it is actually no bad deed. Why? Because it was your desire to clean the floor and not to kill the insects. All right, so I need to move on to some other lecture to teach somewhere else. So it was a pleasure to see you, everyone. I hope to see you again next week. We didn't move on in Prince Siddhartha's story, but that's not a problem. We hopefully will have a lot of more opportunities like this. So hopefully you have learned something new. May you be happy, may you be healthy, and may you soon attain the eternal bliss of Nibbana.
Bye, Wilbur, sir. Terrible, sir.